John Eustace has just concluded his pre-match press conference heading into the game up against West Bromwich Albion at the Hawthorns tomorrow afternoon. And there's some positive injury news heading Derby County's way, as well as a little bit of news which is a little bit unexpected in terms of one of the new signings. But shall we get into looking at those players who have been injured and how they may be returning over the course of the next few weeks? Now, just to give you a rundown of who those players are, you look at someone like Sondre, Langas, you've got Lars, Jorgen-Salvesen, Curtis Nelson, Owen, Beck, Patrick Agyemang, Charles Ebuka and Corey Blackett-Taylor. Now, I'm not expecting to get any update from John Eustace in regards to that of Charles Ebuka over the course of the next few weeks, as I don't believe he's going to be a part of the first team picture unless we suffer a huge amount of injuries. But should we now get into talking all about those other injured players and how they could be doing on their way back to fitness? Now, obviously, if you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments if you haven't done so already. Check out the likes of NordVPN, Kitbag and Loaded down in the description. They'll all be linked down there as well. But shall we get into it? Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Now, obviously, let's start off with a little bit of the more negative news in the regards of the injury situation, and that is that Corey Blackett-Taylor and Charles Ebuka are still expected to be out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously, their injuries were 6 weeks injuries. I think they both did groin strains, which ultimately has kept them out for the last few weeks already. We've just hit the international break, and I do believe that they'll probably be back in training and fit and ready to go by the end of this month. But we will have to wait and see sort of how that goes in terms of getting back on the grass and things like that. Neither player was mentioned in John Eustace's press conference today, which is pretty standard, to be fair, in terms of those players who aren't really there or thereabouts. And if you're not asking about them, it doesn't really matter, if that makes sense. So I do believe they'll be back by the end of this month, but obviously we've got to wait and see in that regard. Now, another bit of obviously slightly negative news has to go in the regard of Curtis Nelson. Now, obviously, Curtis Nelson had that injury setback a few weeks ago, which said that he was going to be another 4 to 5 weeks away. And he still seems to sort of be in that sort of boundary. And John Eustace has obviously made the decision not to register him, which is obviously a tough decision for Curtis Nelson to see, but a great decision in this regard, in my opinion, to see sort of Curtis Nelson give himself that time and space in order to get back to fully fit nature and stuff like that, because we know how effective he can be when fit. Now, I personally don't believe he's going to be a part of this squad going forward, and I think once he's fit and back integrated within the squad, I do believe that in January he will move on to pastures new. But the aim is to give him the next 8 or 9 weeks to sort of really get himself back into full fitness, get some games for the B team, and then reintegrate with the first team and see what happens. But we will wait and see how that goes in regards to keeping him at the football club. Now, in terms of that of Sondre, Langas and Owen Beck, both players are back training. However, they're not fully training at the moment. Both players are bit part within training at the moment, doing a little bit with the group, a little bit not with the group. So they're probably not going to be involved this weekend, but I'd anticipate they're edging ever closer to getting back within the group. And then obviously we saw Patrick Agyemang and Lars Jorgen-Salvesen back in training. We've seen both players get minutes for the B team development squad, whatever you want to call it, over the course of the international break. where John Eustace said that both players got half an hour within that game, which is obviously a positive. Derby County fans will have seen Lars Jorgen-Salvesen within the game against Ipswich Town. He was on the bench for that. Patrick Agyemang obviously wasn't. But for me, it's brilliant. Both players are back, fully within training and everything like that. And I believe John Eustace did confirm that both players would be in the squad this weekend. And I think it's a very, very interesting position that we find ourselves in, because we pretty much have a fully fit squad, apart from obviously Charles Ebuka and Blackett-Taylor. Obviously Ebuka will be part of the B Team 21 setup, but pretty much we've got 24 fit players sort of heading into this weekend's fixtures and going forward, which I don't want to curse it, so I'm touching wood right now. We're in a good place, and it means that John Eustace is going to have to leave 5 players at home every week, and that is going to be difficult. Well, 4, because the third choice goalkeeper won't go on the bench, and it is going to be difficult to make those decisions. It is going to be difficult to see who those players are. We've obviously seen movement out of the club in regards to Kenzo Heldmine and in regards to the likes of Ben Osborne, Jake Rooney and Dejan Brown. But in my opinion, it's one of those situations where you'd rather be in this position where you've got really good decisions to make than in the positions where we were last season, where you pretty much had the same 11 starting every week, because there wasn't really that quality to bring off the bench. There wasn't the option to really rotate in many areas, and I'm sure John Eustace is much happier to have 25 fit players who he thinks can have an impact than just having 11 or 12 players who are going to be his core of the squad, and sort of they're just going to be the ones that rotate, because ultimately it then gives you that opportunity to rotate the midfield, rotate the wide areas. It gives you opportunities to do something different game to game, like we saw versus Ipswich Town. We played the 3-4-3. Across the course of this season already, we played 4-2-3-1, 3-5-2. So there's many different opportunities heading the way of Derby County in regards of these players once they're back fully fit. And I'll tell you something, I cannot wait to see how this squad sets up once everybody is available. Now, in terms of the new signings, the little bit less positive news in regards of injuries is a little bit on Ben Bertrand-Diaz, who is set to be assessed over the course of the next few days. He's not picked up an injury, but he only returned from his international spell with Chile this morning, I say this morning as of time of recording, which is the 11th. And that obviously means that he's a little bit jet lagged, a little bit sort of on the edge, and hasn't actually had the opportunity to train with the squad yet. But Eustace did anticipate that he'd have trained yesterday afternoon as you're watching this. But we will wait and see if he is involved. I'd like to think that he'll be involved on Saturday, but it will be an interesting one. You can obviously let me know your thoughts on this down in the comments. We will be live later on today at 6 p.m. to discuss all things Derby County. So if you haven't done so already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. Check out Loaded, NordVPN and CD keys and kit bag down in the description. And if you haven't done so already, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye guys. Head on over to raffle.com, linked down in the description, so that you can get yourselves into the raffle to win 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice. Tickets start at just £1 per ticket, with a range of different bundles available to you, where you can buy 2 tickets, get 2 free, 5 tickets, get 5 free, 10 tickets to get 10 free, and 15 tickets for 15 free. All you need to do is head on over to Derby County's website, get yourself a fan ID. So if you are the winner of this raffle, I can send you over those tickets, and all you have to do is enter a question just a little bit about Jamie Carragher and what club he played at for his entire career. So if you haven't done so already, head on over to raffle.com, linked in the description, so that you can join the raffle for 2 Derby County home tickets or a 2025-26 DCFC kit of your choice.